Okay, so right to the running back rankings.
Boom.
Pete. I'm going to go to the prospect rundown presented by Applebee's. There, he's ahead of me. He's got it done. Simms 2021 draft running back rankings. We're going 5 to 1, right?
We're going
Not
5
1
to
5.
1. Yep.
Starting at number 5, North Carolina. They had a little bit of talent on offense this
cow.
past year. Javonte Williams, 5'10", 212.
Javonte Williams, he's a ball of power. That's what he is, really. And, I don't even know. Is he 212? I think at his pro day he ended up weighing 220, but I could be wrong either way. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But that's what he is. His name of his game is balance and breaking tackles and power. That's what he really does. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that, I think he's going to be an awesome superstar NFL type player. I do think there's a little bit of again, raw explosiveness and speed and acceleration that's missing from his game. That's why he would be my number 5 guy altogether. But everything he does in his game is pretty good. Can make people miss, but that's not really what he wants to do. Speed is good, but he's not going to be one, I think, in the NFL that we're going to sit here and watch him go, oh, he's turning the corner and watch out down the sidelines. Here goes a 60-yard gain that way, but has very good feet. I think that's the impressive thing about him. But really, when it comes down to it, it's the low center of gravity and the power in which he can run. Whether it's breaking arm tackles or just lowering his shoulder and running people over were by far the most impressive things he did. I think he's really ultimately, for me, a 3rd or a 4th round pick because, game is good. Don't get me wrong. I just wrote there's nothing real special about the game that makes me come away going, ooh, he does this, and this is why you need him. There's no negative. That's a positive. Don't get me wrong. He can run between the tackles, got a little ability to bounce the ball outside. We know he can break the tackles and do all that. He has decent hands. He's just not a great route runner that way. And he is going to be able to pass protect, which you brought up. To me, he's more of a zone scheme runner, which is, give him the ball, let him find one lane, let him stick his foot in the ground and hit that 100 miles per hour, and then his power and everything comes into play.
Yeah.
I don't think he's necessarily made to be like, let me follow a pulling guard and dance around and now accelerate and hit the hole, because he doesn't have great acceleration in that. I don't think he's that kind of runner too, which is, I take that into account when I evaluate these guys. How many different running schemes can you play in, as far in the NFL? And I think, to me, he's a zone scheme runner when I really look at him. Big bell cow style looking type running back, right?
Surprised that he's at 4.
Yes.
Most of the time you see him at 1 or 2.
I know.
Let's start with why maybe you have him a little lower than a lot of the others.
Well, I think the big thing is, first off, and I'm totally transparent. I said this to you before we started. He's a tough eval for me. It's my first one where I go, maybe I'm wrong. Okay, I get it. But I think the first thing is lack of speed is a real issue. There is a true lack of speed. And,
and there's no 40 time on him either, right?
And he didn't want to do it at his own pro day, which tells you a lot too. I mean, your own pro day 40 time is going to be good. Hey, listen, just watching him break out in the open at Alabama, it's underwhelming. If you had to ask me, I would go, it's 4.65, it's 4.68, it might be 4.7 flat type of running back. I think that's what he is ultimately. Now, are there some things he does really well? There's no doubt. But man, is he running in a lot of space at Alabama. And that's where I guess my first question is just, if there's nothing there in the NFL, what is he going to do for you that way? I guess that's where I come down to making him number 4. He does have great feet. I mean, he can jump cut and make people miss in the hole. He's really special that way. And jump cut and stay square at the line of scrimmage, which, hey, I'm a big fan of because, as a runner, hey, I'm in this hole and boom, now I got to jump over here. You're still square. It allows him to go straight ahead and now take on a would-be tackler and be in a great position body-wise that way. That's the thing he does best as far as just movement side to side, making people miss. But below average speed. And the other thing I would say, for his size at 6'2", 230, I would tell you it's also below average power for his size. You don't come away sitting here just going, oh, there was nothing there. Look at him smash it in there and move the pile for 5. Oh, he took on the linebacker in the hole and ran him over or broke the tackle and got 4 more yards. There's very little of that. So, I think that's where I come down on it a little bit to go, okay, big guy, got sweet feet, definitely. But it might be a little bit of the Peter Warrick syndrome I'm talking about. Oh, yeah, great. He made the middle linebacker miss in the hole. Now he takes 2 steps up, and boom, the next guy tackled him before he got going because the acceleration's not real special that way either. So I think those were my concerns with him a little bit, just as just the pure raw specimen. But, hey, I do love his size. His ability to catch the football out of the backfield is really the best thing he does.
70 catches the last 2 seasons.
He's a natural. He's a natural.
And
I know.
It's for over 10 yards per catch, which I really like. A lot of times running backs, 6 yards per catch. It's the check down and they fall down. He's getting double digits.
I mean, he's got a real niche. And, I mean, at the very least, in the NFL, where, again, I'm going to sit here and tell you I don't think Najee Harris is a slam dunk number 1 NFL running back. I think he's a really good number 2 is what we're getting into, that kind of conversation again. But he will have, I think, a real role in the pass game. One, because of his size and his ability to pass protect, he's going to be great that way. But he can really run routes because of that ability to change direction and the hips and the feet that we talked about, let alone his hands are awesome, and his ability to kind of adjust to the ball, in the air is also a special.
Get to number 3, completely different kind of back.
Baby, I know.
Javian Hawkins out of Louisville. 5'8" and just 183.
Yeah, listen, it's a risky one as far as that's concerned. The ultimate thing with Javian at the end of the day is speed, and more speed. And when I watch him, I just sit here and go, I'm watching Matt Breida. I'm watching Raheem Mostert. That's the guys I'm watching. Now, again, their careers might not last more than 6 years. Neither one, any of them.
Yeah.
But
they
can go over 90 every week. You better watch out. And that, to me, is where he's really special. I mean, his acceleration is through the roof good. Again, another guy, you just look at him, you give him a toss sweep, an outside zone, and he sees a hole. Like, forget about it. Get on your horse. It's like meet him at the pylon 70 yards down the field later. That's where you're going to have to beat him to. So I think that's the thing I loved about him. Just the acceleration, the pure speed, pedal to the metal. And then, for a smaller guy like we talked about, he breaks more tackles than you would think. Just does a great job of, again, not letting you hit square. Now you got to tackle me with your arm tackles, and he finds a way to get extra yards that way too. Is he a 27 carries a game type running back? No. Okay, no, but he's a double digits a game type running back with a handful of screens and pass plays to him. And now you look at it, right? He catches the ball really well. And now you look at the game over and you go, oh, we got our guy 20 touches. And man, on 3 or 4 of those, woo, it was house call, or it was really close to being like, watch out, what are you going to do? How are you going to stop this guy? So that's what I love. So I don't know how you could have watched Louisville and not be concerned about what he could do to your football team because of his speed and ability to make people miss. I think it's really, really special. And I'll be interested to see where he goes, because I know there's definitely going to be a little bit of a size, question mark with this guy to where maybe I'm high on him, certainly. And if there is those concerns, then maybe he does end up in the 3rd round, something like that. But I loved his game altogether.
Up at number 2, our second back from North Carolina. And like Javian Hawkins, he's 5'8". He's a little heavier, 199, Michael Carter.
Man, Michael Carter was like the surprise of the draft to me. I mean, I couldn't get over it.
Let's start with why he's two better than Javonte Williams, his teammate.
Yeah, because his quickness, ability to make people miss is elite. His ability to, make people miss and then reaccelerate, it's elite. His ability to, wait, I'm going full speed, and now I got to put on the brakes. Okay, tackler, run by me, and now reaccelerate. His start-stop ability is phenomenal, let alone, unlike Javian, who we just talked about, who's a little bit of a smaller running back, there is somewhat of a powerness to this guy's game. Not that it's going to run you over, but he certainly showed the ability to handle contact and breaks a lot more tackles than you would think when you sit there and watch him for a guy that's 201 or 199 pounds.
Yeah.
I think that's the big reason. But, to compare him to his teammate, I think he's a more elite physical specimen. And, man, there's just a lot of runs, again, going back to our credo here of where I go, okay, there was 5 yards. Woo! Oh, he broke that guy's ankles. Oh, he broke the next guy's. Oh, he got 27. Yeah. It should have been a 6-yard run. He got 27 yards. There's a lot of that. Let alone, we're talking like elite route runner out of the backfield in the pass game, and a willing blocker in the pass game too. Not that he's always, he's 201 pounds or 199. He's not going to be able to stop everybody. But, like, the will and want to is not the reason. I mean, yeah, he can't, God, he can only overcome so many of God's obstacles. Size is one of them. Yeah. So, yeah, if Ray Lewis blitzes, it's going to run him over. I don't care. Yeah, he's going to.
Maybe he could slow him down a little.
But he's going to try, and that's where I give him effort. But, man, that's where I was just really in love with the player. And I think, like, he's a player, too, to talk about. He can do a little bit of everything. I think he could be that zone runner and just, boom, hit it. Or he could be that, let me get behind a guard and dance and weave and, okay, now the hole's there. Let me accelerate and go. He can do either one, and I think that's what I was more impressed with. And I think, honestly, he played faster than his 40 time that he ran at North Carolina.
And his 40 time was?
I think it was like 4.5s there, okay. low 4.5s. Fine, yeah. Right. Or the second to last thing I wrote, nobody tackles him one-on-one. Nobody. And I wrote, actually, nobody tackles him 2-on-1.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many plays where it's him, like you said, he's run up maybe 8-10 yards, nobody's touched him.
Yeah.
But now it's two guys breaking down, and neither one of them come away with a tackle.
Right.
He makes a guy miss and then reaccelerates and runs around the edge, and the other guy can't get the angle, and oh gosh, he got around us. There was two of us. I mean, that's where I think I just came away more amazed.
We've been talking about running backs for a while now. That's the best compliment you've paid to anybody yet. I just want to back up and highlight that. Nobody tackles him one-on-one.
Nobody.
No surprise. Travis Etienne out of Clemson, 5'10", 215.
Yeah.
All-time, the most productive running back in the history of the ACC.
Just the most complete running back in the draft. There's no doubt about that for me. I mean, that's really where – I'll make my bold statement more than anything. Reminds me of a guy we've talked about a little bit. To me, the playing style is almost Alvin Kamara-ish. Kareem Hunt is who. Those are the two guys I came away thinking that's really what he plays like. And I think his measurables are probably somewhat close to them as well. Okay, can run for 60-yard touchdowns. Check, yes. Mm-hmm. Can run between the tackles and break tackles. Man, can he break some tackles. Yeah. I mean, he's got a great pair of legs and ass. He's got power to him. And, not that he's an ankle breaker, maybe like, Javian Hawkins or Michael Carter, but he's got a smoothness into which he runs and a subtle ability to change direction to make people miss and never really lose speed. It's hard for me to explain. He can kind of just weave and flow through traffic. It's not like, oh, your ankles are broke. It's kind of just like, hey, I'm running 4.5, and oh, wait, hold on, I got to weave over this way, and oh, now I'm going to spin off this guy as he hits me, and now I'm going to reaccelerate. Yeah. He's got a great way about, again, like I don't want to say it was elite quickness, but a great way to change direction without really having to regather himself or lose speed.
Yeah.
He can kind of make that right-hand turn and make somebody miss and, oh, man, I was going to hit you, and now it's just my forearm and your thigh, and now he's turning to the right and running down the sidelines for a big gain. That's where he's really special to me.
Taking a look at some of his measurables for everybody who can watch along with us. 40-yard dash, 4.41. All of the athletic measurables, I don't know. I mean, what you make of him, 5'10", 215, but when you watch him, he can really go. When he got the handoff, if there was a hole that needed him to be at full speed when he hit it.
Thank you.
He was at full speed at the line of scrimmage instead of getting through it and kind of, I can sprint now.
Yes.
He was at top speed when everybody else was kind of trying to figure out the play. And I feel like he hit some big plays because of that quality.
There's no doubt. One of the last things I wrote, and I'm glad because you and I were thinking alike here a little bit, and this is not planned out, but it was one of the deceiving things about it because he can be a patient runner.
Yeah.
He's got a great way. Again, here's another guy where I go, I think he could play in any scheme. He could follow pulling guards and fullbacks. He could play the zone scheme. He's got great patience, but so you could watch 8 or 10 runs and go, there's nothing there, and he's kind of feeling out, waiting for his little hole or seam to hit. But when he sees what he wants,
Gone.
his acceleration, it's way better than you expect or think. I mean, it is. There's so many times, again, going back to our previous point, where he sees what he wants, he hits the hole, and now he gets through it before the second level can close it.
Yeah.
And now he's gone, whether it's the screen game or the run game or whatever it is. And that's where I just come away and just think, yeah, he's the top running back in the draft. He's got no weakness to his game. He's a really natural pass catcher, can run routes, can make big plays, can get tough yards between the tackles. You know, of course, has played against a lot of big-time football. You know, his speed, his top-end speed is, you know, it's good. It's not great. And when I say good, it's not great, I mean it's good where he'll go for 50 and 60-yard touchdowns in the NFL. He's not going to go for 80 and 90-yard touchdowns. That's for the Javian Hawkins type guy. That's that kind of guy. But, you know, I think when you take all that in there and how slippery and smooth he is running through the holes or to make people miss and everything that way, I just couldn't come away and put anybody ahead of him as far as the running backs are concerned.
Let's take a peek at what we just had there for the top 5 running backs. At 1, not from Washington, from Clemson, Travis Etienne. Out of North Carolina, Michael Carter at 2. Javian Hawkins, Louisville, 3. Najee Harris, a lot of people's 1 and 2, shows up at 4 for Chris. And Javonte Williams at 5, also former Tar Heel.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yep, there it is. Top 5 running backs. Thank you, Applebee's.
Presented by Applebee's. Yes.
Prospect Rundown.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.